The Tipping Point with Mike Tipton is brought to you by Dubby. What is Dubby? Dubby is a clean energy drink that is made to give you focus with no crash, jitters, or angst like those other energy drinks have. They also have no maltodextrin fillers and don't use artificial dyes. Dubby contains vitamins, amino acids, a nootropic, and 150 milligrams of caffeine. Dubby's products are made in the USA in an FDA-inspected facility that strictly adheres to GMP manufacturing guidelines. All of the flavors are unique and custom-made by Dubby, and you'll never taste our taste anywhere else. The best part about it is they're affordable. Dubby's drinks come out to about $1 per drink, much cheaper than Starbucks or any of those canned energy drinks. To learn more, visit w.gg.com/discount/MRTipton33 and place your order today. Use promo code MrTipton33 and save today. Dubby Energy, be better. What's going on, everybody? I want to tell you about my new friends over at Cleverman. Visit them online at becleverman.com. What they gave me was the energizing face and beard scrub along with the Cleverman face scrubber. And trust me when I say this, the energizing face and beard scrub smells amazing. Combining it with the face scrubber, making sure that your boy was looking as good and sexy as possible, opened up a whole different sensation in my face that I haven't ever felt before. I felt so clean, so fresh, and so clean, like Outcast said, and it helped me feel like I was ready for my day. Make sure you visit them online at becleverman.com and follow them on Instagram at clevermannyc. The link is up in my bio if you want to check out all the amazing products they have. Visit them online, becleverman.com. Happy Tuesday morning, everybody. I hope that everyone is having themselves a great day so far. It's been busy for your boy, but you know what? It's okay. We'll be all right. We're going to get through the show. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about today. We've got the NFC or the AFC North and the NFC North that we're going to be talking about this week. Yesterday, I wanted to get into it, but I got infiltrated by Augustine, of all people. Augustine just decided out of the middle of nowhere to show up right before the show started. It was like I had a whole layout of everything that I wanted to do. And right before I had started the show, like 2 minutes before, Augustine shows up. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, there goes the entire planning of everything that I had that I wanted to talk about today. Thanks, Augustine. Tommy says, what's up, Tip? What up, Tommy? Hope you're having a great day, sir. I just had my coffee made right now, too. That, like, I hit the buttons to play the show intro and do all of those little things like that, right? Tommy's saying you should have sprayed that roach with Raid. I probably should have. Now that I'm thinking about it, I probably should have. You are 100% correct. He definitely needed to be sprayed with Raid. Or like a cat, right? Like he's like a cat in heat. Should have just sprayed him with some water. It probably would have made life a lot better for all of us. I'm joking, Augustine. You know we love you. Although I shared a picture of Augustine with somebody yesterday, and they're like, oh, that asshole. So, I mean, hey, it works in two different ways. Okay, so what I wanted to start talking about, as you know, we got the NFL. We got all kinds of stuff happening right now. And what we're doing week by week is breaking down the 4 different divisions in the NFL. In both conferences, right? So we have the AFC South last week that we spoke about, the NFC South last week that we spoke about, who's going to win those divisions. I thought that the Atlanta Falcons, out of all teams, have the best chance of winning those divisions, of winning the NFC South, and that the Jaguars, again, our Jacksonville Jaguars, have the best chance of repeating in the AFC South. Today, I want to talk about the AFC North because to me, the AFC North was a very interesting, to say the least, division over last year, right? Pittsburgh wins the division. Aaron Rodgers' geriatric ass finds a way to get them to win the division. And you wind up having a weird exodus for Pittsburgh, right? Like you knew whoever won the AFC North, if it wasn't Baltimore, if it wasn't going to be Cincinnati, because they had, higher expectations, that it wasn't going to be a great performance by the Steelers, right? Steelers get bounced in the first round. Everyone's like, oh, fire Mike Tomlin. They fire Mike Tomlin. They agree to move on. They do all that stuff. Now they finally hire a new coach, and it's Mike McCarthy, former Dallas Cowboys head coach, former Green Bay Packers head coach. And it's almost like a lateral move for the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? You go 10-7 last year, win the division, have yourself a good old time. Is Mike McCarthy the guy who's going to get you over the hump? Augustine says, 2 days in a row. I'm so proud, LMAO. And then Tommy, a roach is what Augustine says. Tommy's not the roach. He was calling you a roach. I don't think I needed to repeat it. I'm sorry, Augustine. Did you know I got nothing but love for you? Augustine says, is Tipton at Joe's apartment? Oh, because of the roach comment. Okay, I guess that makes a little more sense. That is such an old reference. That's got to be an almost 40-year-old reference that you just made. Holy shit, man. Well, I guess 30-year-old reference. But still, that is insane. Insane. That's where your mind would go. Okay, so we look at the Pittsburgh Steelers. What have they done in free agency? What have they done to get better? We know that they re-signed Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is still going to be their quarterback going into this upcoming season. Don't know how I feel about that. But if you're a Steelers fan, how are you feeling about it? You know what I mean? Like, is that the guy? Does the division seem winnable to you? Does it seem attainable to you? The Steelers go out, they get Jamel Dean, a cornerback from Tampa Bay, give him a 3-year, $36 million contract. They get Aaron Rodgers, like I said, they re-sign him to a $22 million contract over 1 year. Rico Dowdle, 2 years over or $12.25 million over 2 years. Sebastian Joseph, defensive lineman from the Titans. Jaquan Brisker, our guy that we loved, Tommy Brock Hoffman, number 6'7" himself, no longer a Dallas Cowboy, but he's a dog, and he's with the Pittsburgh Steelers now. And, a couple of other guys. No one really that you want to write home about. What did the Pittsburgh Steelers lose in free agency? They lose an offensive lineman, Isaac Samolo. They lose Kenneth Gainwell, which we spoke about the other day. They lose him to Tampa Bay, which I think is huge because that was a guy that again, led the team in receptions. Rico Dowdle is an okay receiving running back, but you really want to have someone like Kenneth Gainwell on that team. They lose James Pierre, Connor Hayward. Like it's not a whole bunch of guys. Calvin Austin, they lose. Marquez Valdez-Scantling comes to the Dallas Cowboys, right? Like it's not a bunch of stuff that they lost. Nothing to write home about. Nothing to write home about in receiving free agents. Nothing to write home about in losing free agents, other than maybe Rico Dowdle. What do the Steelers do in the draft? They had a ton of draft picks, right? 3 third-round draft picks for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They get some help along that offensive line, trying to protect Aaron Rodgers. Got to protect your statue of a quarterback. You got a 9,000-year-old man back there. You got to find a way to protect him. They get Max Ian Anchor from Arizona State, offensive lineman. They get Jeremy Bernard in the second round, a wide receiver. Maybe you put that alongside DK Metcalf. They go and they get Drew Aller, quarterback out of Penn State. I wasn't a big fan of Drew Aller to begin with. I'm trying to figure out maybe he'll be a decent NFL quarterback, but is learning from Aaron Rodgers bad or is it good? Still going to be that coin toss, right? And does Aaron Rodgers actually want to teach him? Because we know Aaron Rodgers didn't want to teach Jordan Love. Helping out the defense with cornerback Dylan Everett. Get more help along the offensive line with Jennings Dunker. With the greatest mullet in all of sports. They get an offensive lineman guard, Jennings Dunker, out of Iowa. So look at that. 2 of the first 5 picks, all of these in the first to third round, were offensive line picks. You got to help out that quarterback. You got an old-ass quarterback back there. You got to be able to keep him upright. Caden Wetjen out of Iowa as well, a white wide receiver. Riley Nowakorski, a tight end out of Indiana, won himself a championship, which is interesting to me that you would go and get a tight end because Washington is a really awesome tight end. I don't know why they don't use him the way that they should. A defensive lineman in the 6th round, Gabe Rubio. In the 7th round, Robert Spears Jenkins, a safety out of Oklahoma, and Eli Hendrick, a running back out of Navy. Going to the comments, Augustine saying that his breakfast was amazing. Tommy is calling Augustine the cucaracha. And then Augustine reminded me that Joe's Apartment was MTV's first movie. There was a while there where MTV was like really kicking ass at movies and stuff like that. And Tommy says Aaron is an AA hole. I mean, he really is. He really is. Does that feel like enough, though? Right? Does that feel like that could be something to write home about? That the Pittsburgh Steelers have gotten better. It feels like they're just the same, right? And I guess a lot of that's because the game is predicated on who your quarterback is. The quarterback position is so important in the NFL. And having a 42-year-old geriatric Aaron Rodgers, who isn't the same guy that he once was. And again, like that's not a knock on him. That's just how it goes, right? I want to see the depth chart for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You have Aaron Rodgers, Mason Rudolph, Will Howard, and Drew Aller. If Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, which isn't out of the realm of possibility for a 42-year-old quarterback, if Aaron Rodgers gets hurt, you are going to have a ton of problems. And it feels like that's what the Pittsburgh Steelers are getting set up for here. At least in my mind. It doesn't feel like it's anything that could be super sustainable. Sure, you got DK Metcalf. You got a couple of weapons. You got some stuff right there. It feels like the status quo, even down to the coaching, right? Mike Tomlin or Mike McCarthy, basically the same guy. One focuses on defense, the other one focuses in on offense. Tommy's saying, yeah, I wouldn't say they got better, but also don't think they got worse except for the head coach. LOL. Yeah, I guess. The Cali Man. What's up, Cali Man? Thank you once again for joining us here. Why did Aaron Rodgers refuse a COVID-19 vaccine? Because he predicted it would be bad for him. Then he joined the New York Jets. Yeah, right. It's probably going to be bad either way, so just let it be bad. It's all bad for you, Aaron. I love like those memes from a couple of years ago where it was like, how long are you going to last? You've been talking like a whole bunch of game to this girl. You're like, how long are you going to last? And it's Aaron Rodgers running out with the flag for the Jets right before he tore his Achilles. That's what it was. Again, but okay. So that's where the Steelers are right now. Not in the best place. It's a weird purgatory that you can call yourself in whenever you say, you know what? I wasn't great. I wasn't terrible. We're still a team. I guess. Let's go to the second place team in the AFC North, the Baltimore Ravens, who I think by all accounts we can say vastly underachieved. Like last year, it felt like going into the year that it was going to be a division between the Bengals and the Ravens. You have an MVP caliber quarterback at all times in Lamar Jackson. You've got, all these weapons, right? It was like they retooled and they did so much. And they just couldn't seem to get right. And sure, it could be Lamar Jackson got hurt every now and then. It felt like Derrick Henry took a step back, which is weird to say about Derrick Henry, right? What'd they do in the offseason? Well, they go out and they get Trey Hendrickson. They sign him to a 4-year, $120 million deal or $112 million deal. $28 million AAV for Trey Hendrickson. Great job right there. Tried to team him up with Max Crosby. Don't know if you remember that, but that deal fell through, right? They go and they get an offensive lineman, John Simpson from the Jets. Jalen Hankins, a safety from the Patriots. Calais Campbell from the Cardinals. It's crazy to think that Calais Campbell is still out there doing his damn thing. They re-signed Chidobe Awuzie, greatest name in all of football right now. It's just, it's not, again, nothing really to write home about outside of that Trey Hendrickson thing. And that was the issue with Baltimore last year. That defense was god awful. The Crooked Commish tuning in saying, top of the morning, Money Mike. Top of the morning to you, Crooked Commish. Hope that you are having yourself a great day so far, my friend. We're talking about the AFC North right now. We just went over the Pittsburgh Steelers. The downside of the Pittsburgh Steelers. All the moves they made this offseason just seemed like, like Tommy said, they didn't get better, but they didn't get worse. Like they just, they're treading water. That's what they're doing. They're out there doggy paddling, treading water. It's what they do. Baltimore Ravens, though, the signing of the edge rusher Trey Hendrickson. Pretty decent signing. The Crooked Commish getting ready for Vegas. Leave Thursday morning. Ooh, what are we doing in Vegas? I love going to Vegas. It's been, I guess a couple of years. I got to find my way back to Vegas. Who did the Baltimore Ravens give up? Who'd they lose this offseason? Well, they lose Tyler Lindenbaum, probably their best offensive lineman. Got to be able to protect Lamar Jackson, but you lose your best offensive lineman. Then they lose Isaiah Likely. Likely not a good thing for them. Haha. I do love Mark Andrews. Don't get me wrong. Isaiah Likely was the guy that, at least last year, better tight end for him. They lose Draymond Jones, one of their edge rushers, but they replace him with Trey Hendrickson, so it's okay. They lose Aloy Gilman. Keaton Mitchell, I guess you could be like, whatever. It doesn't really necessarily matter. But along the offensive line and in that tight end room, man, that's a lot to lose. And in my mind, right? So you got to be able to do something to make it better. The commissioner is going to Vegas for a fantasy football draft. I want to shit on it, but that sounds pretty cool. I don't know if I would go to Vegas for a draft though. Like not with my friends. I guess it depends on who the friends are that I'm going with. Snowman Multimedia says, hey, Snowman here. What's up, Snowman? Hope that you're having yourself a great day, sir. Thank you for chiming in once again here on the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. Live Monday through Friday most of the time. Also, some big news for the Tipping Point with Mike Tipton. If you are in the El Paso area, maybe this pertains to you. If you're not in El Paso, it would be great to see you, support your boy. Starting in September, we will be joining the KTSM family. KTSM TV, we will be on their smart TV app, KTSM Plus. Go check that out. Download it. It'll be at the same time as here, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. They specifically told me in the meeting, you can say fuck. Apparently, I say fuck a lot. I didn't realize that I did, and I apologize if I do. The snowman saying, beautiful, love it, excellent, love seeing that, love seeing the love. But yeah, check us out starting April on the KTSM Plus TV channel as well. Hopefully soon on the app. It'll be all over the place. See y'all there. What did the Baltimore Ravens do in the NFL draft? A lot. To help combat losing offensive linemen, they draft an offensive lineman. The Cricket Committee says we will be streaming all day and giving away a JSN autographed mini helmet, among other things. Hey, man, I like that. That's awesome. How long is this draft supposed to be? If you guys are going to be streaming all day, I would just stream the draft, dude. All day stream. Oh, maybe it'll be good. It'll probably be good. I will tune in as often as I can. Let us know who's going to be there. Ray Work Production saying, good morning, boss. Good morning to you, Ray. Hope that you are doing well today as you are at work, getting that work in for you. What did the Baltimore Ravens do? They go out, get an offensive lineman out of Penn State in the first round, get an edge rusher, Zion Young, in the second round, get Jacoby Lane, a wide receiver out of USC, Elijah Surratt, a wide receiver out of Indiana, and then Matthew Hibner, a tight end out of SMU. Lane, Surratt, and Hibner were the third and both fourth-round picks for the Baltimore Ravens, trying to help out that offense a little bit, right? It felt like that offense could be stagnant at times, but you've noticed only one pick on defense here, maybe to go alongside the signing of Trey Hendrickson. Zion Young, what's he going to be able to do? Because that's what the Baltimore Ravens' biggest issue is on defense. In the fifth round, they had 3 fifth-round picks: Chandler Rivers, Joshua Cuevas out of Alabama, another tight end, and Adam Randall, a running back out of Clemson. In the sixth round, they get Ryan Eckley, a punter. They drafted a punter. Love whenever that happens. Nothing makes me happier than seeing punters get drafted, man. And then Rayshawn Benny and Evan Bierstein in the seventh round. Again, though, you really wanted to see something along the defense because that's been the issue for the Baltimore Ravens. They didn't really address it in free agency. Sure, you got Trey Hendrickson. He's going to get to the quarterback. You got Calais Campbell. Calais Campbell, I believe, is going to be the oldest guy in the NFL. No, because Aaron Rodgers is still here. But one of the oldest guys in the NFL, what are you going to really get out of Calais Campbell? Great leadership guy. What have you done to get better on defense? And that's the biggest issue with the Baltimore Ravens. Sure, maybe you helped out the offensive line. Offensive line got a little bit younger. Lamar Jackson don't need to be back there running around all the time. I know that that's his best thing, his best attribute. If that's what he's got to do until his mid-30s, he's going to age like a loaf of bread. You got to be able to protect Lamar Jackson. You got to be able to create running room for Derrick Henry. And it just doesn't seem like the Baltimore Ravens really address that. The Cricket Commission says, we are renting a mansion up there. The house Ultimate Fighter filmed in. 10 rooms. Hey. This feels like it should be a full-on hangover type thing, man. Like, if I don't see you completely sunburned because you were stuck to a roof somewhere in Vegas, I am going to be extremely disappointed, Commish. And we've got to see all this stuff. I'm going to be watching just for that. And now the content, wow, I was going to say content creator in me, which sounds like I do an OnlyFans, which I did for a small period of time. But the content creator in me is like, you better go through this damn mansion and be like, hey, this is this room. This is this room. This is where I'm going to be. This is where I'm going to be. That type of stuff. I can't wait to see it. So are y'all doing the draft in the mansion? Because I feel like if you went to like you rented a room at one of the sports books, like at MGM or something like that, that would have been cool too. But hey, I mean, 10 of y'all in a mansion in Vegas. I'm hoping these are like lifelong friends, man, because that'd be a really cool thing. Tommy, we got to get together. Like a whole group of us got to get together. It'll be 10 of us. We do our NFL draft. We do our fantasy draft. We go on site somewhere. We tell Augustine that we're going to be at another location, so he goes somewhere else. Galaxy brain. So far in the NFC North, neither team, neither Pittsburgh nor the Ravens, have really done anything that you want to care about, right? It feels like we're just keeping the status quo. The biggest issue to me is that Baltimore no longer has John Harbaugh. That's going to be the biggest issue. Tommy giving us some laughing emoji. Augustine saying, I can still find where you are, LOL. That sounds creepy as all hell. Just absolutely. You got like a tracking device or something on me? I got a new car. I know it ain't on the new car. Tommy says he's down. I've been wanting to create a fantasy league, but I've been hesitant on creating fantasy leagues because the last time I did one where I was the commish, right? Shout out to the crooked commish. But the last time I did one when I was the commish was just a mismatch of people who I did not really, and like it didn't really gel. Like they were the type of people where they wanted to be able to talk shit to you, but the second you talk shit back to them, it was like, oh my God, I can't believe you did this. And it was a vampire league, so it was already kind of, stressful because a vampire league, if you don't know, is hell. Then I had a buddy that's like, let's join a knockout league or like a gauntlet league or any of that stuff. Like, I really want to do that, but I also don't want to be the commish. I don't want to. People that are the commissioners of fantasy sports leagues are amazing people. Like I just cannot be. I do not have that patience for people. And like all the, oh man, I meant to make this claim on the waiver, but I didn't like where I am on the waiver wire. Can you do this and that? I had someone. Oh God, I'm not even going to get into it. You know what? This is what being a commissioner of fantasy football does for me. It angers me. No, you know what it takes for me to get upset? A lot, man. I'm a happy-go-lucky dude. I'm laid back. I'm high as hell half the time. Wait, what? Tommy asked a wonderful question. Who is the Ravens head coach again? It is Jesse Minter. I know you're asking, that Jesse Minter? Yes, that Jesse Minter. It is him. The commissioner saying Augustine has a little stalker in him. A little stalker would be an understatement, my guy. Augustine has a lot of stalker in him. Like whatever the most stalker is, multiply that by infinite amount, and yes. that's where he is. Tommy says, let's do it. Augustine saying you didn't like them. LOL. You know what? Again, you know what it takes? I am the type of dude, like I don't judge anybody. I'm not, mean or any of that stuff. You know what it takes for me to be like, I just don't want to associate with you anymore in my life? It takes a lot. Like a lot. I've done that with like a handful of people, basically my entire family. It's not a fun thing, man. Tommy says, a regular league, though. I don't like all that crazy shit. We just learned about Tommy right now. I can't say it, though, because it's kids in the car. So we'll wait for the kid to be out of the car. The crooked commish says, you started the story, you got to finish it now. All right. So again, like it's not terrible, right? It's just annoying. And I don't like when people want to be annoying. And I laid out the rules of what the Vampire League is. And if you don't know what a Vampire League is, it's an awesome concept. Like I genuinely loved the concept of it. You have, let's say, 10 teams, right? 9 teams get to draft. Then the team that whoever got the short end of the stick, that 10th team, makes up their team out of just free agents, right? But they always have number 1 on the waiver wire no matter what. They're always number 1 on the waiver wire no matter what. The caveat is, if they beat you, they get to take whatever player on your roster they want to take and replace him with whatever player on their roster they want to replace him with. Not a super hard concept to grasp, right? Cool. We've established what it is. If I need to explain it again, I got no problem explaining it again. I can do it a couple of times, right? But we see what it is. 9 teams draft. The team that doesn't draft fills up their roster with the remaining free agents, however many of them they need, and they always have number one on the waiver wire. If they beat you in the head-to-head matchup that week, they can take whatever player they want to take from your team and replace him with whatever player they want to replace him with on their team. Straightforward. Seems like it to me, right? So we have our draft. One guy in the draft decides that he does not like the way the draft went, messages us, 3 days later, I want to do a redraft. I don't like the way this went. What the fuck? Who? What? What do you mean you want to do a redraft? Well, the reason why is because I was on a cruise. Oh. Fuck off then. Right? Like I don't give a shit where you were. That's on you. That's poor planning, my boy. You probably shouldn't have put, the fifth string running back as that high on your priority list. That's a you problem, my guy. That ain't a me problem. Then he loses the very first week, loses Christian McCaffrey, I think it was, and was like, I don't understand this entire league. And from that point on, it was just a fucking waterfall of people making dumbass comments. So much so, again, a couple of my friends, one that works at SiriusXM, one that works at ESPN, were a part of that league. And they were like, we don't ever want to do this league with those people again. And I was like, I don't fucking want to either. I just threw it together. Again, not terrible, but just a headache that you don't need. And it'd be like, oh, I didn't get to make that trade because that cruise that I was on 2.5 months ago. The amount of text messages I got. I had to wind up blocking people on Facebook because it would be like 3 o'clock in the morning sending me a message like, hey, I sent you a message at 2:50 in the morning and you didn't reply back. Now I got to call you on your phone at 3 o'clock in the morning. Motherfucker, I got a life. I want to sleep. Just because you're fucking at home masturbating at 3 o'clock in the morning to fantasy football doesn't mean that I am. You nerd. Tommy says the word stalker was made for Augustine. You know what else was made for Augustine? Just the tip.
I just want to put the tip in.
It's time for
Just the Tip.
That would make me uncomfortable.
Promise that it ain't too much, but just enough. Just a tip. Just a tip.
Just the tip. Just the tip.
It's time for Just the Tip.
This delayed Just the Tip is brought to you by our friends over at www.myhappynuts.com. Visit the website right now, guys. I know that summer is coming to an end, and you've been spending this entire summer with just swamp ass and duck butter. It's a horrible life to live, but you've been doing it to yourself because you don't listen to your boy. Go to www.myhappynuts.com. Get the comfort cream. Hell, you don't want to have your hands all sticky and dirty afterwards. First off, you should probably wash your hands. Don't be gross. Get the comfort powder. Pull them big-ass drawers to the side. Pull them all the way out. I know you're wearing triple XL drawers because you're a big fat fuck just like me. Pull them off to the side. Sprinkle in some of that powder and go on your happy little way. Don't snort it. I did that. It's a horrible idea. www.myhappynuts.com. Use promo code Mike Tipton at checkout and save on all of your male grooming needs. Hey, I got through that. I've just noticed that the TV behind me is frozen. And it's been on Fernando Tatis doing something in yesterday's game on SportsCenter where he's got the bat like this. So I'm assuming like he swung at something, but it does, like that's a weird angle, right? Because you got Fernando Tatis right there. You got the catcher over here. I don't know. Maybe it's just a weird angle. Maybe it's just me. But like I tried using the remote right now to see what the hell's going on, and I have no idea. The Crit Commish says, is that what it's called? Duck butter? I thought it was called Wonder Cheese. A Green Bay special. I mean, that is good. That is good. I might use, I know way too many Green Bay Packers fans. I might start using Wonder Cheese or Fermunda. Fermunda was always what it was called with me. Tommy's saying, you're getting fired, Mike. How am I getting fired? What's happening? What's going on? I even said yesterday in my meeting with KTSM so that we can be on the KTSM Plus app, once again starting in September, I was like, so you've seen the show, just the tip segment. They're like, no, we're good. We're good. That's my dude. My guy. Got number love for you, Babcock. But that's my dude. We're going to be working on a lot of fun stuff, guys. A lot of fun stuff going forward. I'm excited. Like I genuinely am. And I will fucking make sure I do as many shows as I possibly can. Because I miss doing this stuff, man. I miss doing this stuff. Tommy says, I'm putting my headphones on here at McDonald's before some more crazy shit is said. Ray Work Production saying, that is awesome, sir. Thank you, Ray. I appreciate that. Also, some good stuff that you did. I didn't get to see the whole thing just yet, but I did see probably the first 15 minutes, I guess, of the Iris and Grizz thing that you did. All right, man, it was probably more like 10. More like 10. I don't want to oversell how much I watched. But yeah, I watched it. That's some good stuff that you did. Check out, once again, locally sourced El Paso, our guy Ray Work Productions right here. You can check him out. Got some really good stuff going on. He had Iris and Grizz from the Kiss FM morning show. And Grizz is a great dude. Like, if you don't know Grizz's story, you got to learn. You got to learn about that. Ray saying, I don't know why I was so nervous. Hey, man, it happens sometimes. Not with me. I'm a professional. But it happens sometimes. Don't let it fool you, man. I still get nervous doing this stuff, too. I've been doing it, 10 years? Right? But the nervousness is what shows that you actually have passion for it. Right? Like that's what it comes down to. The commissioner says, Tommy, you are learning, my friend. LOL, what's up, Tommy? I love that. The side bromance that's happening between Tommy and the Crooked Commish. They understand one another. They understand that maybe having Mike Tipton not on your headphones is the worst. Ray saying, want an insider on the next episode. Sure. I'm down. Depends on what the insider is. What are we on the inside of? Like, are we on the inside of the drug cartel? Because I can do some of that. How crazy would that be? Like the tipping point with Mike Tipton deep dives in with the drug cartels. There's a show that I love to watch that's called Trafficked with Mariana Van Zeller. And if you haven't seen that show, it's stuff like that really got me into journalism. I really wanted to be like one of those boots on the grounds type journalists. It's just I'm an asshole apparently, and nobody ever wants to hire me for any of that stuff. But I love seeing that where like the investigative journalist where she's going inside like the drug cartels. She went to like Ghana to see about like the people that scam you and do all that stuff. I love that show. If I can give you all a recommendation on to watch stuff that's not sports, it would be Trafficked with Mariana Van Zeller. Awesome stuff. Tommy giving a little bit of love to the commish. Ray laughing at me for whatever reason. Saying I was able to get an interview with the GM of the Sonic Ranch recording studio. Hey, that is awesome, dude. That is awesome. I love the different like little recording areas and stuff like that we have in El Paso. I am glad to see those things actually up and running. Also, don't tell Brandon the Iceman Cone because I know he doesn't watch this show. Actually, you know what? I'm going to tell y'all, and I want to see how long it takes him to realize this. But Fire and Ice is also going to be on KTSM Plus in the future. We are going to be utilized as more of a kickoff going into college football. If you don't know, KTSM here in El Paso has the Big Ten and Notre Dame. So I've been speaking with my friend Mike Golick Jr. He's going to be on the show every now and again whenever we got Notre Dame stuff coming up on Fire and Ice to let us know about what we should be looking for on Fire and Ice with Notre Dame insiders and stuff like that. But Fire and Ice will also be on KTSM Plus as like a default El Paso college football pregame show. So I am super excited about that. I think it's going to be a fun time of what we're going to be doing. Plus, it means I get to put Brandon's big ass to work. Do research for me, my guy. Help me out. Oh, Ray is saying, well, the bell rang. Oh, trust me, I know that. I got to go. I'll talk with you soon. We'll see you later, Ray. Hopefully we'll see you at the stadium sometime soon as well. Give the family my love, my guy. The next team, as we make our rounds around the AFC North, the Cincinnati Bengals. They still got Joe Burrow. Still got a bunch of other stuff going on. How do we feel about the Cincinnati Bengals? Because it feels like they've underachieved year after year after year after year, right? Like how I say Joe Burrow and Dak Prescott are the Spider-Man meme. The Cowboys and the Bengals are also the Spider-Man meme, just pointing at one another, being like, oh, I am you and you are me. Like that's who these teams are. Very underachieving franchises over the last 30 years. At least the Cowboys have won a Super Bowl in their lifetime. Who did the Bengals sign? So you lose Trey Hendrickson. You bring in Boy Mafe out of the defending champion Seattle Seahawks, which sounds weird to say. The defending champion Seattle Seahawks. He's an edge rusher. You give him 3 years, $60 million. Probably not as dynamic as Trey Hendrickson, but you don't need someone as dynamic as Trey Hendrickson. You need a solid defensive side there, right? They go out and they get a safety, Brian Cook. They give him $40 million from the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs had a pretty damn good defense as well. They go out, they get Jonathan Allen from the Minnesota Vikings. Once again, putting in money here for our defense. And then arguably the biggest re-signing they could have done is they re-signed Joe Flacco to a 1-year, $6 million deal. They also bring in journeyman Josh Johnson. Has Josh Johnson ever played for the Bengals before? Is this going to be team number 18 for Josh Johnson? And whenever you type in Josh Johnson, it gives you the comedian, who I think is hilarious. Okay. I love that I have an ad blocker on, and it's like, continue without supporting us. You bet your ass I will continue without supporting you. Jesus Christ. Oh, he did already play for Cincinnati. Bum, 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 bum. So still only 17 teams for Josh Johnson. But it's okay. It's all good, man. I'm not heartbroken at all. I'm not hurt. You're hurt. Who'd they lose? They lost a lot. They lose Trey Hendrickson. They lose another edge rusher in Joseph Asai. He goes over to the Jets. They lose tight end Noah Fant, who I think is one of the more underrated tight ends in the NFL. And then a couple of ancillary pieces here and there, but it was a lot of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 players that they lose on just, free agency. Tommy's asking about how old is Josh Johnson. I feel like he's been in the league forever. All right. Let's see if he is younger than or older than Joe Flacco. Oh, yeah, and the commission letting us know that Shamar Stewart already got hurt this preseason as well. It seems like it's going to wind up being a very similar situation for the Cincinnati Bengals this year, right? And I feel like that's Josh Johnson. Tommy is 40 years and 95 days old. So just 3 months ago, celebrated his 40th birthday. Congratulations to him. Joe Flacco is 41 and 200 some odd days old. So he will be turning 6,000 during the season. But it feels like that's what this is, right? Like the Bengals, the Ravens, The Steelers, they've all kind of done like just basically nothing. Then maybe you got the trade. You got Dexter Lawrence, trade away to first-round pick. You get Dexter Lawrence. Maybe that helps out the defense a little bit. So you're kind of hoping that Shamar Stewart being there would be able to help out. But again, like there's maybe they got slightly better on defense, but I wouldn't say exponentially better. They didn't get incrementally better, like the way that you would want the Bengals to be, because the Bengals offense is going to be great, borderline great, once again, depending on whether Joe Burrow can stay healthy or not. They get Cassius Howell, edge rusher out of Texas A&M in the second round. Taquario Davis, a cornerback out of Washington State, once again focusing on the defense in the first two picks. They didn't have a first-round pick. They traded that for Dexter Lawrence. Let's not forget that. Helping out the offensive line in the fourth round with Connor Lew out of Auburn. Colby Young, a wide receiver out of Georgia, which I kind of like for them. But it feels like they have way too many wide receivers to begin with. Depth along that center position with Brian Parker II. A tight end out of Texas with Jack Enderies. And Landon Robinson, a defensive tackle out of Navy. Didn't really feel like they did much, man. But like, sure, the defense might be a little better. And again, whenever you look at these teams, it's not like I want to bring up the standings from last year because I want to make sure I got the standings right. The Steelers went 10-7. The Ravens went 8-9. The Bengals went 6-11. You look at what those teams did. Maybe the Bengals get a couple of wins here. They're 8-9. Maybe Baltimore gets one more win here and there. They're 9-8, right? But you could see again this division being won with a 10-7 record, if not even a 9-8 record, or even an 8-9 record. Like it doesn't look like this is going to be a great AFC North. And then you have what feels like the joke of the NFL right now, but not who I would say is the worst team in the NFL right now. In the Cleveland Browns. The biggest issue with the Cleveland Browns as they went, 5-12 last year, is what's going to happen at quarterback. Do you go with Shedeur Sanders? Do you go with Deshaun Watson? Deshaun Watson's been getting the majority of the first-round reps here, like the first-team reps in the preseason. Do you go with Dylan Gabriel? Like who is going to be your starting quarterback? But the fact of the matter is, we can look at the Cleveland Browns right now and know without a shadow of a doubt their future quarterback doesn't feel like it's on the roster right now. And I don't know if tanking for a quarterback, if you're Cleveland, is smart. I would tank for the picks and build the offensive and defensive line because you're going to be bad for quite some time. Who did they sign in free agency? They go out and they get Zion Johnson from the LA Chargers. Sign him to a 3-year, $49 million deal along the offensive line. They get Elgin, Jesus Christ. Elgin Jenkins from the Green Bay Packers, sign him to a 2-year, $24 million deal. Well, not terrible, right? They get Quincy Williams, a linebacker from the New York Jets, $13 million deal, 2 years. Again, not terrible. They're spending a little bit of money. They signed a ton of guys on small deals. But they helped out the offensive line, right? Like you got to be able to keep those bad quarterbacks upright. Who did they lose? Hopefully not anybody because they weren't good enough to lose anybody. They lose linebacker Devin Bush, and you got to remember, that Cleveland defense last year was actually really good. I know I just shit on them right now, but that defense was really damn good. They lose linebacker Devin Bush to the Chicago Bears. Commish, you got to be happy about that. The Bears getting better on defense. 3 years, $30 million. They lose offensive lineman Wyatt Teller, but again, they signed 2 offensive linemen in free agency. And not a whole bunch, but they did lose David Njoku, who I think is, again, vastly underrated. Apparently, I really like tight ends. That came out weird, but yes. Who did the Browns draft? I don't think it necessarily matters, but let's see who they got because they got 2 first-round picks. Spencer Fano, an offensive lineman out of Utah. So again, look, helping out that offensive line, trying to keep those bad quarterbacks upright. Casey Concepcion, which I think is a great wide receiving option. But again, it's Cleveland. None of the quarterbacks that I mentioned right now, do you really trust them throwing the ball to anybody? Literally anybody. Do you trust Shador? Do you trust Dylan Gabriel? Do you trust Deshaun Watson? Nobody. Like I feel like, sure, you had to go out and get somebody with that pick. That's a sexy pick, Casey Concepcion. You want to get a wide receiver, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be something that helps them out in the future. Second round, they get another wide receiver, Denzel Boston. Awesome. Help out the defense again in the second round. They had 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. I forgot about that. They get Emmanuel McNeil Warren, a safety from Toledo. Third round, they get an offensive lineman, Austin Barber. Fifth round, Parker Brailsford, an offensive lineman out of Alabama. Another fifth round pick, Justin Jefferson. Not that Justin Jefferson, but a linebacker out of Alabama as well. A lot of Alabama guys going to Cleveland. Tight end, Joe Royer out of Cincinnati. Taylon Green, another quarterback. How many quarterbacks do the fucking Browns need? Jesus. And then Carson Ryan out of BYU as a tight end as well. Just for my own sake, I want to see how many quarterbacks the Cleveland Browns have right now. Oh, this isn't going to give me the full list. Where are we? Do they only have 4? Huh, I guess so. I don't do that. All right. Well, so all I'm seeing right now is that they only got 4. They only got 4 quarterbacks on their roster. I'll double check that. But again, the AFC North for so long had this reputation of being, this amazing division. And it feels like none of the teams in this division this year so far have really done anything to get much better. You can say there's 3 teams, right, that could possibly win the division: Pittsburgh, Baltimore, Cincinnati. But if any of those teams should be the favorite to win, I believe it's got to be Baltimore, right? Like Baltimore's got to be the favorite to win that division just because they seem like a more well-rounded team. I know there's still questions on defense. You have an MVP caliber quarterback. You've got some weapons there. You've got probably the best running back in the division in Derrick Henry. But none of these teams, I think, should have any type of championship aspirations, which is super weird because last year we were talking about how the Bengals and the Ravens should be considered as favorites to win the Super Bowl. It's got to be Baltimore's division in my mind. I want to know what y'all think about that as well going forward. But, man, I was dunking on the AFC South last week, and I started doing my research on the NFC North, and I realized, or the AFC North, and I realized this is probably a worse division than the AFC South. Now, this AFC South, you're going to have some pretty fun storylines. You got our second favorite team, the Jacksonville Jaguars, in it. But it just feels like the AFC North is kind of a wasteland. It really does feel that way, which is kind of sad because that's one of those divisions I think whenever the AFC North is competitive and fun, it makes football better. It's just like the same thing with the NFC East, right? Whenever the NFC East, all those teams in the NFC East are actually competitive, it makes football fun. The same thing with the NFC North. I guess except for the Lions. We're used to the Lions being bad. All right, y'all. Once again, thank you all so much for being on part of today's show. No show tomorrow because we got a day game with baseball. So hopefully, if you're in El Paso, I'll see you out at the park. If not, we will see you on Thursday. Thank you so much for the love and support, everybody. Remember, go ahead and download KTSM Plus on your smart TV because in September, we are going to be a part of the KTSM Plus family. I can't wait for it. It's going to be a fun time. The tipping point with Mike Tipton along with Fire and Ice. They said maybe even Bob, Jim, and Pat. I'm still kind of iffy on that one, but we'll see how it goes. Once again, everyone, thank you all so much. We'll see you all later. Tommy says he's with us on the Ravens. Hey, look at that. I finally got someone to agree with me on something. Thank you all so much. We'll see you tomorrow or Thursday, not tomorrow.